And now let's take a look at example 1D. In here, we're doing a broken accompanimented pattern, two hands, as you can see here. Left hand's going to be playing a bass note, and the right hand will be playing the triad. So they've given us an example to start off with. We could start with it. You can also start with a different position as well to make it maybe a little bit easier for you too. So let's go ahead and start with a harmonic analysis. This will give us a nice starting point. We're in the key of G major, starting with a 1 chord here. And notice how they're doing a 1 chord, staying on the 1 chord, and changing to the 5/7 on this measure right here. Second beat of bar 2, 5/7, and then back to the 1 chord. Okay. The idea is the same, so anytime I'm looking at music, this measure and this measure are identical. Okay, the notes are identical. So there's really no need to do a different harmony. So we'll just do a 1 chord. Now, of course, if you're composing something and you want to make it more interesting, you might choose to vary the harmonization, even if the music in the melody is the same. Still the 1 chord here, and then again 5/7 just makes sense. The music's the same here, so 1 chord. Maybe I can even do the 5/7 in a different color so that it's a little bit more visible. The change, that is. So 5/7. Okay. And then we have this descending line here. That could also be a 5/7 as well. I think if we're doing 5/7 here, I would keep it as a 5/7 all the way through here, actually, to the 1 chord. And again, I'm giving you a very, very basic harmonization. You are more than welcome to make it more complicated for yourselves if you want to experiment with other chords. So now, let's actually follow the voicing that they've given you. The right hand, which is D, G, B. This is a 1/6/4 chord in the right hand. So here's the 1 chord. To get to 5/7, we just go D, F sharp, and up to C. That's all it is. So we have 1 chord to the 5/7, 1 chord, and 5/7, like that. Get comfortable with that. The left hand, second finger on G, fifth finger on D. So 1 chord, 5 chord, like that. And you're just going to go back and forth. 1 chord, 5/7, 1 chord, 5/7, like that. See? Once you're comfortable going back and forth, we can actually try this as we have harmonized it. Here we go. 2. Here we go. 1, 1, then 5, 5, back to 1, 1, 1, 1, then 5, 5, back to 1, then to 5, 5, 2, 3, 4, back to 1. Simple. Okay? And then the music actually changes a little bit. The melody goes to an E. Okay? So you might recognize that tune, right? So for this part, I would suggest that we go to a 4 chord. And then back to a 1 chord. This is typically how we hear this song. Then a 4 chord. Oops, I wrote 5, 4 chord here. So that's a 4, 4, 4, 4. And then to a 5 chord. And then a 1 chord. So the only thing left for us to do is figure out how to play the 4 chord. So if we had G and a D, the 4 chord will be a C in the left hand. In the right hand, here's our 1 chord, D, G, B. The closest 4 chord is here, E, G, and C. So let's try playing the 4 chord. Okay? And then all you have to do is get used to going between the chords. So 1 chord is a G, right hand, D, G, B. 5 chord, D, D, F sharp, C. 1 chord. And 4 chords, C, E, G, C. Like that. So let's try the second half. We've already done the beginning. Let's try the second half starting on the 4 chord. 4 chord. 1, 2, here we go. 4, 2, 3, back to G, here we go. Back to the 1 chord. G, 2, 3, back to 4 chord, here we go. C, 2, and then we're going to go to the 5-7, here we go. D, 5-7, and then back to the 1 chord. Okay. And then let's try the whole thing. 2, ready, and G, 2, then 5-7, 1, 2, 5-7, 1, then 5-7, then back to the 1 chord, then the 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, then to the 4 chord, then the 5 chord, then back to the 1 chord. Okay, so for the harmonies that we have selected here, it's going to sound like this. Okay. Of course, you could do it more traditionally if you wanted to change the chords on bar 6. Okay. Another option would be to do the 4 chord right here, which is typically how we are used to hearing this song harmonized. Okay. Or you can be really creative. Maybe you decide to introduce other chords like the 3 chord or the 2 chord and the 6 chord. You could have something that sounds really different. You know, be as creative as you'd like to be, or keep it as simple as you'd like. And that's it.